Hello guys, so in the last part we survived a near-death experience when we lost our exertion which prevented our ability to run. Thankfully we managed to find a safe house with no zombies. Before we start the video, I just want to mention that we have a Discord server you can join. We mostly just chill and hang out from time to time. Also, this will be about 8 hours of raw recorded footage all put together. So do me a favor and like and subscribe. It would do a lot. Thanks. Now enjoy the video.
How do I breathe? It's by the grace of God. He gives me the oxygen to breathe in and to breathe out. Amen.
After a full rest at the bars upstairs, we needed to get back to our McCoy warehouse home. Thankfully, I found a car with enough fuel to drive me back, while avoiding any undead on the road. While on the road, I took a stop at the gas station to grab some gasoline for the car and continue on the road. Now that I am finally home, I spent a couple of days reading and planting seeds. You see, in Project Zomboid, food starts getting bad and turns rotten. Canned goods provide not enough calories and food hunger loss to keep us on our feet. Meanwhile, fresh greens from the ground provide just enough to keep us not hungry and also possessing a large surplus of it. Any remaining rotting scraps can be used as compost. Since I found a sledgehammer before, I used it to bust open the door at the other warehouse, which was completely locked from my reach. Inside, I found a couple of useful items, a few crowbars, fertilizers, and gardening equipment. Now, should you pour your own water to the plants you planted? No. Why? Because rain happens pretty often. The issue of watering your plants is removed. Instead, I shall use these watering cans and buckets to collect rainwater so when electricity runs out, which prevents me from using basically every function of a building. Afterwards, I scout the remaining McCoy buildings. I decide to go on a run to the farms west of McCoy. While on the road, I came across a major roadblock which I managed to dodge. We'll have to keep that in mind though. I then check a roadside marketplace which has nothing but rotting food. Following the gravel road, I came across two large warehouses with basically nothing but rotten food. I decide to travel deeper to the few homes that are scattered, which should have useful supplies. After finding minor things, fighting a couple of zombies, I drive back home, avoiding the roadblock on the way. While I was about to enter my place, a couple of zombies attacked me, which I took down pretty quickly. After taking a break from Project Zomboid, I continue on. I decided to come back to the previous location I was scavenging, discovering some tools and fertilizer, a few useful books, and food, and taking a nap at the place. But the area has a special usefulness to it, and that is that it has one of the only wells in the entire map of Project Zomboid. Wells provide infinite clean water, so I decide to take a visit while also scavenging supplies from the surrounding structure. After scavenging and bathing myself in the well's holy water, I return back. Project Zomboid isn't just about food first and shelter. There are other activities that you have to do. So in the meantime, I practice my carpentry skills by disassembling crates inside the McCoy warehouse. I also practice my mechanical skills by going to the nearby parking lot and dismantling car parts. Now that I feel pretty confident of myself, I decided to return to Maldra to try and enter one of medical facilities located in the rich neighborhoods. But the plan backfired as the place was crawling with zombies. So I instead tried to lure zombies through the storm, which didn't really get me anywhere besides waste gasoline. I was trying the annotated map that I found. Now, when you find annotated maps, you are most likely given a location of a former survivor's stash, which would most often be filled with really useful stuff. I had an idea. The police station had guns and ammo. Logically, I went there to collect a shotgun and enough ammo. Why only a shotgun, you might ask? Because for very early aiming skill, the shotgun is going to be the only accurate gun you can really use. Most other guns require a higher aiming skill to be somewhat useful. I personally am not a fan of guns because they are most only useful to clear out big hordes in open areas or be used to attract more. Guns could jam, some of them cannot be used in close range combat and are loud, etc. Anyways, I drive to that location located on the map. And what do you know? The entire location is filled with zombies. I try to lure them away from the town, but there's even more of them in the woods. I fight probably over 100 of them, if not more, and eventually I just have enough and return back home, defeated. But at least we learned some aiming skill. Since I managed to find an axe, I began chopping down trees and build wood logs to protect my crops and not let any stragglers see me. I also placed traps in the forest and marked them on a map. After some rest, I continue building the wall around my garden. After that, I decide to drive back to Maldra, killed a few zombies and lured the horde, and escaped it. The reason I drove back there was because I wanted to discover what goodies the place annotated on the map had. Most of the food inside of the building was rotten, but it was enough for me to last a couple of days. Then I realized that I can easily lure the zombies and use stealth instead of arriving guns blazing at a high priority location, which could attract unwanted attention. After that, I returned back home. I will continue the construction of the wall for the time being. I also got even more seeds, so I expanded my farm even more, since I didn't have much to do for the time being as I fought. I decided to head out on the road near to the town, where there is a considerable amount of zombies as you drive by, and practice my spear skills. That's because after cutting down so many trees, I crafted enough spears and went to practice. The practice was tiring for my character, but manageable. As I got even more tired and exhausted, I returned back home to rest. After some rest, I continued my work on the wall and finally harvested some crops, which were cabbages that were also seed bearing, which was amazing. After that, I decided to check out the annotated maps I collected, and it led to a special building, which was located at March Ridge, which wasn't that far from where I was located. The building was a dormitory, and the map said it had survivors, which means that it should be stacked with loot. I knew that the entire town would be crawling with zombies, so I came in prepared and ready. As I attempted to enter the dormitory, zombies cornered me from every direction, so I had no other choice but to lure them away from the desired direction I wanted to enter the building complex from. I attempted to set the horde on fire with a Molotov cocktail, but due to heavy rain, I was unsuccessful. Thankfully, I managed to enter the complex without being seen, and oh my goodness, my suspicions were confirmed. Just a couple of apartments, and I already have gotten enough tools to survive off for over a week or so. But to not be too cocky, I decided to leave the place early, planning to return later on when I'll be more prepared to deal with any zombies inside the complex. As I was on my way to return, I killed a couple of more zombies and ripped their clothes to be used as ripped sheets for the wall construction. While I was on my way home with my car, one of the wheels popped, and I was driving back home without a wheel. I also hung the stars and stripes on the wall of my room as well. Since the car won't be any good, I decided to dismantle it for parts and mechanical skills. I then rested and returned back to the same road I was practicing with my spears last time to test out the spiked baseball bat. And holy crap, it was a god tier weapon against the zombies while I was not exhausted. But eventually I got tired and made a run back for my base just like last time. But then something really bad happened. My base was attacked by a lot of zombies from all directions. Since I was completely exhausted from my previous practice, I had no strength in me to fight. So I grabbed my shotgun and ran to hide in the other buildings to rest. The fight was brutal, but I eventually managed to kill almost all of them. Sadly, the garage door was destroyed by them, so I had to build primitive barricades to block it off. That's the end of part 4 of the Project Zomboid series. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe, and make sure to join our Discord server. Thank you, and see you.